All right, I'm going to continue starting on number 6 now. Okay, I'm going to erase some of this just to give myself some space. You could see all of that work on the last video. All right, so looking at number 6, again, I'm looking for 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. The perimeter I can find easily. If that entire bottom side is 22 and this is regular, it means all 3 sides are worth 22, which means if I have 3 sides worth 22, I have a perimeter of 66. So we have 1/2 times the apothem times a perimeter of 66. So what we're going to do is, just like the last two, I'm going to draw in a central angle. If this, I'm going to do this really badly right now, but if this triangle were drawn inside of a circle, you would see that we could technically split this circle into 3 central angles, right? So really what we're looking at is that we have one central angle that makes up 1/3 of a full circle. So if a full circle has 360 degrees, we divide that by 3 to find that each central angle is worth 120. If this entire central angle is worth 120, it makes each of these worth 60 once we look at the fact that the apothem splits it down the middle. It bisects it. Now, again, we realize we created a right triangle, and when I have a right triangle and I know one angle and I know one side, I can find another using trigonometry. They give me that the entire bottom side is 22, and since everything about this is bisected, I know that these two are the same. So if that's 22, it makes this whole side 11 feet. So from that 60 degrees point of view, we know the side opposite from it is 11, and we're looking for the apothem, which is adjacent to it. So once again, we're going to use tangent of that angle, and that's going to be equal to the opposite 11 over the adjacent apothem. We do our cross multiplication, set up our proportion. The apothem times tangent of 60 equals the other cross product of 11 times 1, which is 11. We divide by tangent of 60. And then 11 divided by tangent of 60 gives us that the apothem is approximately 6.4. So going back to our equation, 1/2 times our apothem of 6.4-ish times a perimeter of 66 gives us an area of approximately 211.2. And that's, again, feet squared. So 211.2 looks like T, 211. So number 6, wherever I see a 6, I'm going to put a T. Okay, number 7. Okay, this time they give us the apothem and we don't know a side. So now they're switching up what they're providing us with. Still using the same formula. Area equals 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. Actually, move this over. We know the apothem now is 12. This time we have to find the perimeter. We're going to start off the same way. Draw in your central angle. Our apothem is still perpendicular and bisecting this central angle. If I were to consider the circle around the square, we could technically create 4 central angles, making a full 360 degrees. So that means out of the 360 degrees, this one central angle, that's 1 of 4, is going to be worth 90 degrees alone. So while this entire central angle is 90, that makes each one of these halves 45 degrees. Okay, hopefully you're good there so far. Now we could either use trigonometry or we can technically realize we have a special right triangle. If that's 45, technically this is 45, which means these two sides are congruent. So if the apothem is 12, hey, this half of the side is 12, so this entire side is 24. And if there are 4 sides worth 24, that gives me a perimeter of 96. So 96 times my apothem of 12 times a half gives me an area of 576. And again, that's feet squared. So 576, oops, that's C. So wherever we see a 7, we put a C. That's it. Number 8. Again, we have the apothem, so we can automatically plug that in. We want the perimeter, so we draw in our central angle and we work with this again. So this time we don't have 4 sides, we have 5. So if I do the 360 or the full circle divided evenly by all 5 central angles, this entire angle is 72 degrees this time, which makes each one of these 36. My apothem is perpendicular and splitting that central angle. It's also bisecting this side. So if the apothem is 12 and that's 36, what we can do is some trigonometry. From the 36's point of view, I want the side that's opposite and I know the side that's adjacent. So I'm still using tangent, and so we want the side opposite, and the side that's adjacent is our apothem, which is 12. So when we go to cross multiply now, I have tangent of 36 times 12 equals our mystery measurement. So 12 times tangent of 36 tells me that this side measure, or half of the side measure I should say, is approximately 8.7. So if this is 8.7, it means the entire side is double that. So each one of these sides is going to be about 17.4. There are 5 sides worth approximately 17.4, so we have a perimeter of approximately 87. So 87 times our apothem of 12 times a half gives an area of 522 feet squared. 522 is U. So wherever we see an 8, we put a U. Okay, number 9. Again, we know the apothem. 4.8 is our apothem. We want to find our perimeter. Create the central angle. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides to this, so 360 divided by 8 tells me that each one of these is worth 45 degrees, which means half of this is 22.5. So from here we do our trigonometry. We want the side that's opposite. We know the side that's adjacent is 4.8. So tangent of 22.5 equals the opposite x over the adjacent 4.8. We cross multiply to find 4.8 times tangent of 22.5 is what gives us our portion of the side to be approximately 2. It's really like 1.988. So that's 2, making this whole side approximately 4. And if there are 8 sides worth 4, we have a perimeter of approximately 32. So 32 times our apothem of 4.8 times a half gives us an area of approximately 76.8. So looking down below, that is going to be an A. So wherever we see a 9, we put an A. Okay, I'll do one more on this video. Number 10, it's just like the last few. We know the apothem. We need to find the perimeter. So we draw in our central angle. This time, the central angle is 1 of 6. So 360 divided evenly by all 6 tells me this whole thing is 60, making each one of these angles worth 30. We're going to use trigonometry to find our opposite side. So tangent of 30 equals the opposite mystery x over the adjacent apothem of 4. We do our cross multiplication. We find that 4 times tangent of 30 gives us a side measure of approximately 2.3. So if this is 2.3, it means the entire side is approximately 4.6. And if there are 6 sides worth 4.6, we have a perimeter of roughly 27.6. Multiply that by our apothem of 4 times a half, and we have an area of approximately 55.2 feet squared. So that's M. So wherever we see a 10, we put an M. Okay, next video will show you 11 through 15.